attorneys, Mr. John W. Dill. Sir, how are you doing?
All right, happy to be here tonight.
It's amazing to see you. Todd Long was on here and gave us the extent of the resume.
Oh, well, he's better at telling it than I am.
Well, I honestly,
he's a good hype man for me.
Well, I honestly feel like I'm sitting across right now from a few good men.
That's because you can't handle the truth, my man. No, I'm teasing.
That's true, man, but I feel like that. I mean, like he said, there's a few of you in this entire country that does a courtroom dance like you do it and connects with the jurors and has the resume of wins and reputation that you have.
Well, yeah, I guess there's a few of us out here. I've been lucky enough to try a lot of cases and have success, so I really enjoy it. It's my thing I love doing the most.
What got you into law? Let's go way back. What got you into to law and wanting to be in it?
Well, funny thing is my dad was in the FBI when, I was growing
up. All right,
up.
that's the end of this show, everybody.
and he's there right now. No, he was in the FBI when I was young, and so I eventually went over and watched a trial that he was in, and I was fascinated by it. I thought it was really cool. He was a witness, but it was in court, and after that I wanted to go to law school. And,
how old were you?
At that point I was pretty young, maybe 14 or so. But I was like, you're a kid, you're not sure what you're going to do. And then I went to that, and I was like, oh, now I know I want to be a lawyer, for sure.
So that one trial at 14, and you knew.
Yeah, I knew that's what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Man, I'm almost 40. I still have no idea what I want to do.
Yeah, I'm kind of lucky that way. I mean, I've enjoyed a lot of other things, but that's the thing I've always been really good at.
So for you, preparation for a case, I got to imagine that preparation's everything.
Yeah, absolutely. For trial and stuff, I find that the more prepared you are, like anything, the more prepared you are, the better off you're going to be. And, especially if, I don't have like this huge magnetic personality or a great voice like some folks, so I really have to work hard. But the more I prepare, the better I know the facts, the better I connect. So it makes it a lot easier for me.
Do you remember your first trial?
Yeah, my first trial, it was a couple weeks after I got sworn in, which rarely happens these days. Yeah, it was like my boss at the time, Scott Kirk from Rumberger Kirk. He actually just said, hey, well, come over and we'll go try this case. And, I've been on trial team and stuff, but it's much different when you actually go in there for real. But I was lucky enough to do it in the first couple of weeks when we won. So after that, I was like, all right, sweet.
So 2 weeks after being sworn in, you're in there and you won.
Yeah.
Man, that's got to be something that's like, because I'm not a golfer, right? But every once in 80,000 strokes, you get one that you're like, oh, yeah, that was amazing.
That's how I felt, yeah. So won that one, but then lost some after that, of course, which was, but now I'm up to like 239, I think, as far as the number. There's quite a few. But yeah, there's always, the more you do it, obviously, the better you get as well.
What runs through your mind, man, like as you're making that opening statement or that closing statement, knowing all's kind of hinging on that opening or that closing point? Like, walk me through what that's like.
Well, as far as the closing, by the time you get to the closing, you've been in you're in the moment. And one of the things about being in trial, it's sort of like, you're hyper-focused. I think it's mainly because your mind's really only on that. And my wife will tell you when I'm in trial, I'm forgetting about, everything else, the bills, the mail, taking out the trash. But so you're hyper focused on it. So you're really, it's sort of for me, it's a sort of an addictive thing because it's really functioning at a high level. So when you're in closing, it's sort of all coming together for you, and you hope you're connected. And usually you know if you are, and you kind of know if you're not too. But so it's either a good feeling or kind of a bad feeling.
You ever walked into a trial and done the best you can, but maybe you're not connected with the jury, that it's not you, or maybe it's something? What do you do then?
Well, the funny thing is, I think maybe attorneys, we kind of overrate our own influence on this. A lot of times the jury sort of figures it out. The skill for being a trial attorney is trying to present it to them so they figure it out the way you want them to, you know what I mean? Yeah. But, we were talking about it the other day, even the cases that I was mad about when we lost, thinking back about it, you can kind of see why. I don't think it was me particularly, and I think a lot of times jurors are like, they're not grading you as an attorney. They're looking at how the case is presented.
Hopefully, right. Let's look at the case, the facts.
And I think they take their job seriously. And I think, obviously everybody who's on a jury, it's a great experience for everybody who goes on there. I know everybody, I have friends who are like, hey, how do I get out of jury duty and all this? But I tell them, hey, go through it and you'll enjoy it. And usually they do.
You never know how many turn into lawyers, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, some enjoy it. Yeah, they usually do a very good job.
Is there a moment in a trial that kind of sticks with you? Maybe, I don't know, 10 cases in or 5 trials in, whenever. Maybe any certain moment in trial where you thought something and something else, or maybe it was a pivotal moment in your career.
Well, I had one. I remember it was didn't always do plaintiff's work, but when I came over to representing plaintiffs, or represent now victims, I had a case, and it was a young lady who had a horrible injury and had all her fingers on each hand cut off. So she only had thumbs. Okay,
Yeah,
it was a horrible injury. It was a machine crunched her hands.
Oh.
And I remember, because we were taught as lawyers to always try to elicit sympathy and get the jurors feeling sorry for the person. But I remember asking her, I was like, so what are you going to do with your life? And tell us about your limitations. And she was like, I have no limitations. I can do anything I want. It was like, I remember that like struck me and connected, because that's what people want to hear, and it was real. You know what I mean? And even though she was saying I can do anything, I can be like the judge, nothing can stop me, and like that. And the defense lawyers were thinking, oh well, we got him now, yeah. But it was a $25 million verdict, because the jury dug that. And for me, it was like a game changer to see, hey, what is it that people are looking for, or people are connecting to? So that really struck me. It's a pivotal moment. I tried a case for 9 months once that was just a long case, and there's a lot of moments in that just from the length of it. But that one moment with Miss Rodriguez, I still remember it.
That's powerful, right? She kind of lets you know, like, wow, all right, and what am I complaining about,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Well, that's exactly it, and it's counterintuitive, because I think a lot of times you think, well, you try to, people will feel sorry for people, but think about it like in sports. Don't we cheer for the guy who's injured and playing, or the person who tries to struggle across the finish line, not the person who's complaining about, oh, my leg's sore, I can't play.
That's right.
So it's the same issue.
Yeah. So striking out on your own.
Right.
Right. What were some of maybe some apprehensions about doing it, or what were some of the pushes to make you go do it?
Well, on both sides. Well, the apprehensions. You always, no matter what your success and what you've done, you're always thinking, well, the phone's not going to ring, and nobody's going to come over.
So even the great John Dill thinks
Right.
that his phone may not ring.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so, like anybody. And the push to it, again, sort of, I enjoy my time where I used to work at Morgan because it gave me a big stage and opportunity to do a lot of things. But a lot's kind of lost in the connection with clients, too, because it's such a big operation. There's pros and cons with that. So being on my own now, I know all my clients that come in. I mean, I deal with them all personally and work their cases personally and all that type of stuff. So that's been it was one of the things I wanted to do, and also create something and create a business
and build it. So almost like going back to the roots, right?
Yeah, in a way, it's like over there, before I had a giant corner office looking over the lake, and now it's a smaller office. But I know at some point we'll do well. But it's fun. It's fun being at the kind of startup stage, because it's already taken off quite well.
Yeah, so you've climbed the mountain already. You've been at the corner office. You've seen the lake, right? You've been at Olympus, right? And then to come back, though, and want to reconnect with your clients.
Right.
Where so many big firms do lose that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and it's not intentional, I don't think, but it's just a nature of the beast, I guess. And it's nice having a smaller operation, but hopefully being able to help a lot of people.
Yeah, well, you already have helped tons of people out there, and the fact to see a gentleman or attorney of your caliber crawl down out of Mount Olympus to get re-engaged with the law, with what you do, and especially the clients, man. That's a beautiful thing to see.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's you don't see that much. Let's be honest. How many people leave Mount Olympus in the corner office, right?
Yeah.
To go get a hope.
Yeah, when you're thinking like, oh, this is it. This is the pinnacle. But it's not though. I mean, obviously, we'll be back there or even further up, hopefully.
What's the pinnacle for you? What's the moment for you? What's I'm lost of the word, right? But what's the motivation, the fuel, the flow, the fire? What is it that feeds it?
It may sound a little corny, but it's just like the quote from Heat. For me, the action is the juice.
Woo!
Right. So that's it. It's the actual doing the cases, doing the court. It's not the numbers or what it buys. It's actually doing it is what
pulling out a Heat quote. Look at you, man.
I got them all day.
Oh, all right, De Niro. I will take that quote. That is a great way to wrap up an interview, man.
Okay, thanks,
John. This is great, man. I think everybody knows where they can find you. They've seen it 1,000 times. And Todd Long was a great marketer for you and a hype. Let me retract that. There's a difference between a marketer doing their job.
Right.
And I've interviewed people for almost a decade. And when I sit across from Todd, who talks about you, he is not a marketer doing his job.
Right. No. He's definitely on board with the vision. So
He's on board with you.
Yeah.
There's a belief in you that I can see across when Todd is marketing you. A genuineness there, sincerity there.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky to have. My wife is the opposite. She'll come over. No, I'm teasing. She's my biggest fan and cheerleader. I couldn't do without her. She's an attorney also. So.
A family of attorneys.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
boy.
She's actually a defense attorney, so we're on the opposite sides, but we...
Ever been across from each other?
That's how I met her years ago.
No kidding.
Yes.
Oh, man. Have you written a book yet, John? I mean, come on.
It's in progress, yeah.
Okay, make sure you do. I bet you have some stories, man.
Yeah, I got a few, for sure.
Well, I appreciate it, John. Thanks for being a part of this event. Thanks for sitting down and chatting with me, man.
Okay, thanks. It's a pleasure to be here.
Cool,
Appreciate
everybody, man. Go check out the one and only, the man, John W. Dill, man, at johnwdill.com, man. An attorney I know I'd be calling if I ever need something.
Oh, yeah. You got it.
I promise
Call
you that.
anytime.
Hey, John, thank you very much.
Thank you.